We've got another one for you, Corridor Podcast. Another one for you, Corridor Podcast.
This is the new intro song. We're good at
We're happy you're here.
The only thing that makes me happier than you is you.
We got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on around here. I'm in the studio, as you can see, in the flesh.
Yeah, look at this. We're like the Titans holding up the earth with our vaccines. And you're sitting there like riding on top of us.
I legit did not know you were coming in this week. So when I came in Monday morning and you came running out with like this robe on with your face hidden, I legitimately did not know who you were. I thought you were like Nick.
It was so weird. I showed up and I went into the room and there was this box from Three Black Dot, and in the box is this this swag rag, and it's a robe. It's like a silk plush robe for a boxer.
What is up with these social media companies?
It's very comfy.
It's
very
such
soft.
robes.
It's such an influencer like piece of clothing. I didn't know what to do with it. I really want to take it and then combine it with the YouTube pajamas that they sent us. Do you remember those?
Those puffy YouTube robes.
The burnout robes.
Robes.
They also sent us like those onesie pajamas.
No joke.
Yeah.
No, like YouTube sent us these boxes, and they were supposed to be they were specifically burnout themed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you have creator burnout, here's some things to help you. And it's like, wow, okay. And it was a thick, like it was like
Was that those suitcases?
It was kind of like a bathrobe, but it was made out of like almost like a mattress material. It was so thick.
Yeah.
It was like comedically. It's like
like
putting
those
on a
puffy
hot
vest
dog
suit.
bun. You're wearing a hot dog
hot
bun.
dog bun.
And then there was like it was a sound machine.
Yep.
A tiny keychain sound machine
face
with
cream.
waves and face cream.
Yeah. Creator burnout cream. And then they sent us this robe, and then they sent us there was also a massaging gun.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. From Three Black Dot, you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nico's
yeah,
into that.
One
Nico's
of those,
like,
like,
hey, can I get that?
Like a Theragun type deal.
that.
Yeah, there's some type of Theragun, a robe, and then in the winter, YouTube sent us these really like I don't know how to describe it, like this intricate art pattern from all these different artists around the world that made pajama patterns.
Oh, it
I want to
was.
see you in that, Jake.
I know, but it's more like streetwear than pajamas.
It's more
Yeah.
streetwear, but if you
Streetwear
put
pajamas.
the streetwear with the robe on it, I feel like it
Streetwear,
really,
yeah.
with the little creator burnout cream.
The burnout cream.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Okay, real talk. Okay, so obviously that stuff is a joke. Okay, if you
I
were
have
like,
a comment on that though when you're done.
if YouTube was gonna be like, Jake, we're sending you a burnout box. What would you actually want to be in it though?
The video game Burnout Paradise.
What would I add? See, no, this is great. This is great because I'm going to segue what you just said with a little comment, which is
Hold on, because I wanna hear from
what type
everyone
of
else.
industry are we in where this, in the mind's eye of somebody who would be purchasing these swag gifts for somebody in the industry that we're in, they're purchasing these articles. It makes me wonder, like, what world are we? What are we doing?
Yeah,
Who
what
do
are
they
we doing?
think we are? I don't. It's so funny.
Everyone needs a robe, Jake. We all can
Yes,
be
I
naked.
have a robe,
Without
but
it.
it's actually useful for drying myself when I get out of the
no.
shower.
That Three Black Dot robe is no joke, incredibly soft. It's about the same softness as the owl.
I love Three Black Dot. By the way, this is not a bash
The
on Three
owl?
Black Dot.
No,
They're
it's
The owl
incredible.
that I felt up.
But it is a funny like quirk about this. How over the last year, we were sent two of
Wow.
these packages that both were burnout themed.
Yeah.
And I that's what I find interesting, and I think it's really clear. I mean, we can go right past this. Social media, YouTube, it's very similar to like Uber, you know, and these like grinding based like gig economy things where we're basically a lot of people making YouTube videos right now on YouTube channels. It's a freaking grind because like literally the output and like the return you're seeing on that output are so closely tied together. The moment you stop and take a break, boom, income just
My
hard
view
slice.
pennies.
It's a hard slice right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Brandon and Freddie had an all-nighter every week for a year. when they were doing their channel, and that's why we decided to do a video every 2 weeks instead of every 1 week. So we only had to pull an all-nighter twice a month.
So we didn't have to put on the burnout cream.
Also, Wren is on pain meds right now, so he's gonna be getting us an interesting color commentary on the whole thing.
So other than pain meds, Wren, what do you want in your box?
Honestly,
let's do this. Yeah.
A time turner.
Time turner?
Yeah, from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
To turn back time?
The best cure for burnout is more time.
If I could turn back
Things in
time.
life to not have to be so stressed. If I could just pause time. I always like to say that, or I used to always like to say that I wish days were 30 hours long so that I can still stay up late and sleep in late and still have a full day of work.
Yeah, it's like you want to work all day,
Party all night.
and then party all night.
and then still have a ton of sleep.
Don't you think that's like the infinite fallacy though? Like if you had 30 hours in a day, it would just you just the same exact thing would happen. It would just happen over 30 hours instead of 24.
Maybe.
All
Or
right.
I can just pause time and be like, it is 3:15 forever.
Here's what I'd like in my creator burnout box. A nice like traveling
Jake,
Martin
sorry, real quick, I
guitar.
have to interrupt you. Were
Oh.
you waiting for like the kickback on the question to like return to you, and we just weren't setting you up?
No, Sam set me up,
Okay.
and then we're doing a roundabout, and now I'm coming back.
No, we're coming back. We're coming back.
Yeah,
hot.
a nice traveling sized acoustic guitar, kind of like the one you have. I've been itching to get one of those. And then maybe like some comfortable T-shirts with no logos, earth tones. I would really appreciate that.
Yeah.
If anyone from 3 Black Dot is listening.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound ungrateful. It's just funny. Like the silk robe. Here you go. You probably needed this.
This and a silk robe and a massage gun.
Yeah, the massage gun and the silk rope's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like the massage gun's like $100 item on Amazon, so it's a nice swag box.
Yeah.
I will say the best
50.
swag box we ever got was VidCon when they gave us iPads.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that was well, you know
was
why
so
that was
jealous
nice
of
is
that.
because they didn't write the word YouTube on them. Like it's like YouTube socks. It's
Apple
like,
wouldn't let them. That's why.
It's like you get this box. It's just like YouTube logo on your socks, and it's just like Jesus. I'm never gonna wear these.
I wore those all the time,
Okay.
actually.
Well,
Yeah.
Jake wore them.
I actually wore them pretty frequently too.
Oh, just me then.
Because you could cover it with your pant.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I have a prized swag possession.
Were they better than higher than average quality of socks?
They were nice and tall, and it was very soft cotton.
Okay, very soft cotton.
Yeah.
There's Adobe Premiere socks that I got from a rep at Adobe at NAB that they weren't giving away. They just happened to have Adobe Premiere socks.
I never
Premiere
found
logo
those
all over them.
comfortable.
I still have my pair, but each time I see them, I'm angry. It's like I don't care how comfy these socks are. I'm just TO'd. Freaking Adobe.
I did a screen capture for something for some video that we're making here. Just a normal screen capture. I open Adobe Premiere. And I load that one file. It's just a shadow plate screen capture. And I drop it in. It just doesn't appear. It doesn't render the image. It just sits there. I'm like, okay, what's wrong?
Talk to me, Adobe.
So I had to flip the whole thing over to CPU rendering from GPU rendering.
Ugh.
Then it popped in.
Oh, man.
Oh,
All
man.
right. So, Wren, let's turn this tide to you for a second.
I don't know why.
You almost died.
I mean, everything's been going fine.
So you, we haven't talked about this.
No, this is officially the first time I've spoken about this.
So we have an announcement to make.
Well, like I am curious, when is this episode
Shattered his
supposed to go up?
clavicle.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think this is about your clavicle.
Yeah.
It's going up.
Can I tell us
Is
tomorrow?
it going up this week or next week?
This week.
Okay.
Yeah, but we can talk about whatever.
Sorry, like literally right before we started shooting this podcast, I did a brand thing for Audible going into this weekend's Stum and React with Aaron, Tony, and Guy.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing that episode. But it was just like the pain meds were just starting to really hit right when I sat down on the couch, so it was a bit of a struggle to get through the whole thing.
I've never been on heavy pain meds. What does it do to you?
It's very slow.
Yeah.
I'm. It's like my vision is slightly swimmy.
You have
But overall, I'm not like high or anything like that. I feel fine. It's just I feel good.
Does it
Yeah.
make you? Does it actually get rid of the pain, or does it make you not care about the pain?
I don't know. I don't feel any pain right now. I mean, I could try to like hit my shoulder, but
Don't do
I
that.
don't want to do that.
It basically gives you a giant body buzz.
Oh yeah, it's like I feel
and-
very relaxed right now. Like I'm totally
Yeah.
down to just like chill here on the couch
if
for
I
the
gave
next
you
like
be a
nice
day.
socks and a robe, you would like really enjoy
Dude,
it.
don't threaten me with a good time.
robe for you?
No, it's okay.
Would you
don't
like
worry about
the robe?
it.
I can
No.
get it.
No, that requires effort.
I'll get it.
You want
to
me to
put on.
massage you with my massage gun?
On the
So we should probably preface what happened.
Yeah.
Nico, you wanted to mention the
I was
story.
wondering if I could tell the story from my point of view. I don't think you've heard my point of view.
Yep.
on it.
Well, let me start
Okay.
with my point of view, actually.
No,
So I was
Sam-
facing away from
Yeah,
this whole
exactly,
thing.
that's the whole thing.
And I had a great time riding my e-bike. And that's basically the end of the story.
And after a while, Sam noticed that no one was behind him.
So, okay, actually, I do want to hear your side of the story here, but I'm going to preface it a little bit. So first, we shot the entire morning. That was one of the longest VFX Artist React sessions we'd ever shot. We talked with a dude in London. His name is Brian, I believe, VFX supervisor.
Brian Hirota, I think.
Yeah, should be a great episode, but it was a very long episode of recording. So by the end of it, we're like, all right, let's go get some lunch.
I should have just mentioned, he was the VFX supervisor on the Snyder Cut and Justice League and Kong vs. Godzilla. It was a big name VFX
Yes,
supervisor.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and I can mention the irony of how I posted this whole Instagram thing about helmets are cool, and like
moments before.
probably less than 10 minutes before.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was. I also have a video clip that ends probably about 10 seconds before the actual crash.
Well, you didn't hit your noggin
I-
because you had a helmet on.
I did have a noggin on. I mean, I did have a helmet on my noggin. So
Yeah.
we decided to go get lunch. We jump on our one wheels and e-bike. It's just the three of us, me, Nico, and Sam. Let's hear it.
And Dobie, apparently.
And Dovey.
There's
Well,
this,
so I'm riding my bike. We're flying down this road. I don't know what exactly happened when, but I'm going, and like, you know, whenever I hit a big straightaway, I kind of gun it, and the bike goes about, it can go like a solid like
50.
8 to 10 miles faster, about 10 miles an hour faster than like a fast one wheel speed. So like I gun it and I go down to this intersection. I hit the intersection. All the cars freeze and lock up because they're like, wait, is this a motorcycle or a bicycle or whatever? What's happening? And like I stop at the stop sign, just normally obeying the laws. Everyone's super confused. About a good like 4 to 5 seconds passes. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go, even though I got here like after everyone.
Honestly, a lot of the time that is the correct move to make, even if it's technically not your turn.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know what happened. So I fly around this corner. I'm like, here we come, hot dogs. Let's eat. I'm hungry for this hot dog, and I like gun it to the hot dog shop.
Yeah, the hot dog shop.
We were going to go get hot dogs, specifically sausages.
Okay, so we're riding along and we're fairly spaced out, and Nico's, I don't know, like 50, 100 feet behind me.
Yeah, so I'm behind you, and actually I'm further than 50 to 100 feet.
You were a ways behind me. You were not. You
Because
did
Wren
not.
was going really fast.
Wren was going
Wren
very
was trying to
fast.
catch up to Sam.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
was.
looking down at the ground, paying attention to the potholes and things like that, because I don't want to hit something and fall off my one wheel. And I hear the skittering
too.
sound of a one wheel sliding out in front of me, and I look up to see Wren finishing a roll on the ground. I'm like, oh, Wren went down. I wonder what happened. And the thing is, as you finished your roll, Wren, you landed and flopped and then deflated. And so I knew you weren't unconscious. Like, because you landed
Wait,
on
did
your...
I actually roll?
Like you did a little bit of like flopping around, and you ended on your back, looking up at the
Ragdolling.
sky, and then you just relaxed in a way that told me you were supremely disappointed in yourself. Yeah, I can tell you weren't unconscious. I can tell you didn't like knock yourself out. I could just tell that you were very upset with yourself.
I distinctly remember that deflating you're talking about. I had no idea you would have even
I know.
noticed
You're
that.
just like
He's riding his one wheel.
big sigh.
He's got a big surgery coming up. He doesn't want to mess anything up.
Yep.
And then he crashes
yeah.
his one wheel.
I have literally not talked about that at all yet.
I could basically see Wren sighing from like 150 feet away because it's the biggest sigh I've ever seen. And so part of me goes, he's okay, but another part of me is like, he also messed himself up. What happened? Because I thought you probably landed on your shoulder and you're just really upset with yourself that you've now like cracked your shoulder again. Wren has a fractured shoulder.
as well.
I will get to that.
But as I roll up closer, eventually you get up and you're like kind of just letting your shoulder really droop down low. And I kind of already knew what was happening before you said it. And you say, I just broke my collarbone. I'm like, yep. Let's step off to the side. And you're like, I'm probably going to go into shock in a minute here. I'm like, yeah, do you want to sit down? You're like, not yet. Too much adrenaline. I'm like, all right, I'll keep an eye on you. If you start feeling faint-headed, let's get you sitting down before you pass out. And then Sam showed up. And he's like, what's up?
It was pretty clear what had happened because your sweater was all dirty. And
was it dirty?
It was dirty.
You got some brown patches on it. And it had that like... Looked like an explosion just went off next to you a little bit, you know?
Yeah, some good Samaritans stopped their cars to see if we're okay, and we said we're fine. I called Christian and Jordan to see if someone could come get us and give Wren a ride to the hospital. And as that's going on, Wren, you have your sweatshirt, this one-of-a-kind Race for the Rail sweatshirt. And you're like,
the
okay,
irony.
so before Jordan gets here, I need you to help me with something. I'm like, anything, Wren. And you're like, I need you to help me get this sweatshirt off because they're going to cut it off me, and this is one-of-a-kind. I'm like, all right. I practice getting models' clothes on and off all the time, so I should be able to get a shirt on or off you without moving your arm.
Just imagine Wren's very small and a baby.
And we got the sweatshirt off without hurting him.
Yeah,
So-
no, I was specifically like, all right, let's do this now while like the adrenaline is still like pumping and like the pain hasn't fully set in yet. Because after an injury like this, immediately afterwards, you feel completely fine. Other than like everything's wrong, but you like the pain Actually, I take that back. It actually was pretty painful trying to get that thing off, but it wasn't
Your body's ready for it.
overwhelmingly so.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, while I'm still in this state, because I was afraid that like if half an hour went by, I would lock up
the swelling.
and I wouldn't be able to move at all. And they're like, we have to cut it off of you. We have no choice. And I'm just like,
You were very lucid for having just broken your
exactly.
collarbone.
See, that's the thing. When I hurt my shoulder previously, 3 or 4 weeks beforehand, I actually did go into shock that time. And because we continued going to lunch afterwards, I was with Natalie, and I straight up had to stop and get off the one wheel because I was shaking uncontrollably. I really felt nauseous, like I was going to vomit any moment. I was like, just give me a moment. I had to like hold on to like the side railing, and Natalie's like, yeah, you're going into shock. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't have any of that when I broke my collarbone.
You went into shock. I could, all the color drained from your face. Your lips are the same color as your skin.
Whoa. Okay, so from my point of view, this is what happened. We're riding down the street. I have like kind of a new tire on. It was a used tire, but it's already broken in, but it's not like, anyway, I'm riding down the street and I'm feeling pretty good. We just had a great VFX Arts React session. I don't think I was even really going all that fast. And I had taken my phone out to record, just like you would, a vertical video showing Sam in front of me. I switched it around to show me. I was like, doing my eyebrow thing. And I looked at the one wheel. And then I ended the video, put the phone in my pocket, and then tried to catch up with Sam, who was already going way faster than I can go. And granted, I do this all the time. It wasn't like I was specifically trying to catch up with Sam. That was just like, all right, time to catch up. My problem was that I leaned too far forward. Because when you're going this fast, you have to literally maintain flawless balance and slowly inch up in speed. I'm very used to doing that, and I can do it. The problem was that I leaned too far forward. I lost my balance, and at these speeds, the board doesn't have any extra torque to correct itself and get back underneath you. It's already doing everything it can just to spin. And so I felt the nose dip, slide on the ground. I was like, uh-oh. And I remember launching out with my right foot, taking one big step, but at this speed, even if I was running at full tilt, like I basically just hit the ground and was like, poof, and dove down, and I just went down on my side, and it hurt, and I was surprisingly not as dazed as I would have expected, probably because I didn't hit my head. And I remember getting on my side and being like, yep, that was a crash. That sucked. Okay. And as I go to get up and lean up, I just feel everything shift. And I instantly was like, that is a broken collarbone. Like zero hesitation, no wondering what happened.
You didn't
it
have
was
to
like,
call Adrian to find out.
no. I did talk with him a lot later that day, just kind of just getting some advice. Yeah, he had a lot of good advice to give me about, having a broken collarbone.
Wow.
Biggest piece of advice, don't jump over a table full of guns, but I already avoided that. Still happened.
Still happened.
So, okay, what I don't really recall, this is where it's a little fuzzy in my memory. I remember getting up there was a car that was going the same direction as me and a car coming the opposite direction. They had both stopped, and I remember hearing, "Are you okay?" And
it was like all echoey and stuff like.
kind of.
Are you okay?
I remember getting up and walking to the side of the street. I do not remember if I grabbed my one wheel or if you did.
I grabbed it.
You did. Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know how I could have possibly grabbed it, but anyway, yeah, we get off to the side of the road, and I'm just like, yeah, this is painful. And I also distinctly remember being pretty clear about it.
I just think about when Adrian jumped over that thing. It's just like watch this. He just runs and jumps over this huge table and plows. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like this is your story is not like funny because it's just like a really nasty crash.
Yeah.
Whereas Adrian is like,
we're just like, watch, check this out. Like,
I can dive on his table. You shouldn't do that. I can totally do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it.
Well, let me show you how far I can fly through the air. It's just like, oh god dang it, dude.
You just crunch. Oh boy.
poor Adrian.
I know. It's horrible.
I
It's
rewatched
horrible.
that video like the next day, just to kind of get a.
Just to like, yeah, psych yourself out.
Well, I was just like, what? Like now that I'm going through this too, that video has a completely different context for me now.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, so it was interesting to watch that. But yeah, so we get off to the side of the road, and I remember you specifically being very calm and collected about it, which I appreciated. You're like, all right, I guess we're going to go to the hospital. And I was like, okay, we are going to Huntington Hospital.
Yep.
Because that is where my wife works. And
You get special treatment.
well, I think I get...
The nurse gives me kisses at the hospital.
Hey, you know, that's a bonus.
Yeah, no, I think I get better insurance coverage if I'm specifically at that hospital.
Yeah.
But I don't know the specifics or ins and outs of insurance or anything. I have yet to receive any bill for this. I'm sure it's going to be expensive.
It won't be that bad. We'll cap it.
Yeah.
It's probably.
But like I guess I'm more so referring to the before insurance bill. The one where they tell you how much it actually costs. When I got a kidney stone last year, that was a $15,000 bill for spending 4 hours at the hospital and a
wild.
CT scan.
How much do you think a kid costs?
A lot more than that.
I guess everyone else
Actually.
knows.
I'm the only one. Yeah, okay.
No, a kid's less than that actually.
It depends.
It does depend.
Depends on how
actually.
long you spend in the hospital after, what type of situation the lady's in when she has the baby.
And are you guys taking into account insurance, or are you saying without insurance?
Without insurance,
Just
the
saying
bill was
without.
like around like 30, 35K.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can be that high.
Yeah.
And then if you
That's
have
about
to
what I
do-
would have expected.
If you have to
Yeah,
do
pretty
planned C-section, that's cheaper than an emergency C-section. Yeah, there's all kinds of nitty-gritty details that they definitely do not tell you about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So I'm glad that you're on the road to recovery.
Yeah, about that.
But you were on the road to race prior to this injury. And I remember 3-4 weeks ago when you dislocated your shoulder.
was it the same shoulder, the same side?
Yes, it is.
Well, I guess it makes sense. Each time you fall off the one wheel, you kind of like naturally try and go into a
You're usually
roll.
landing
Or,
on your left side, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, both falls were completely different falls. So, okay, I guess...
I just want to state for the record, I told you probably wouldn't be a good idea to ride your one wheel after you dislocated your shoulder for the sake of the fact that you could fall on the same shoulder.
No, I think he more specifically said, I don't think it's a good idea to race.
Well, yes.
I don't think it's a good idea to go to this one-wheel event race, considering your shoulder. You didn't say anything about continuing to one-wheel in general.
We keep saying dislocated shoulder. We should be saying broken shoulder.
Okay,
Well, there's two different things. There's 3 different things going on.
there's a lot happened that on so okay, about a month ago, right? We're heading out to lunch, and
Same situation.
yeah. Except
is
this
why
time
we're
I was
helmets.
actually going really slowly. I must have been going maybe 8 or 9 miles an hour. We're on the sidewalk, and there's like this sewing machine in the middle of the sidewalk, but it's like 80 years old, so it looks all like mechanical and weird. I'm like, that's bizarre. And I hit this bump. We call them ghost bumps, basically bumps that you don't see coming. But this one I could have easily seen coming if I was actually looking at the road. And there is a bunch of steps going on above us
There's
here,
a
so that
Venice
is
Beach drum circle
it
going
is
on
momentarily
above us.
distracting us.
It's fine.
It's like like happening on the ceiling.
Someone's barefoot tap dancing.
Like Christian was just like feeling really antsy and just started busting out a drum line on the like desk over there, but that's not the case at all.
Yeah, it's not something that I think any of the audio picks up, but oh my gosh, it picked up my brain. What were we talking about?
We're talking about your shoulder.
Your
Yes.
first fall.
Your fall.
So the board did this thing, what we call folding. It basically just rotated 90 degrees sideways really quickly. And so your feet literally just like pop off of it. And I go straight down more so than like forward like I did when I broke my collarbone. And when I went down, I landed on my elbow. And just like, I just went down and hit my elbow, which caused my shoulder to literally escape out of my socket. Just like plowed straight outwards. Dislocated. And,
sound.
and so I'm on the ground. I'm like, that was really, really painful, mind-bogglingly painful. And as I roll over to get up, it pops back in. And
Good. That's
then
good.
like the pain kind of went away. I couldn't move my fingers before it popped back in. And it was all fine. And so I was like, okay, just a dislocated shoulder. I hear that when you dislocate your shoulder, it's easier to dislocate the next time. So I just took it easy for like a week and a half. Eventually got back to where I was totally fine, except for the fact that I couldn't reach behind me at all. Like I had no pain or anything. Range of motion was totally fine, unless I specifically tried to reach behind me in this manner, like trying to put on a
Appreciating this
jacket.
right now. I'm just really
Just
appreciating
making
this
sure.
right now.
Just making sure. Yeah.
Because my shoulders actually kind of hurt when I do this from various things in my life. But
Yeah, you're right.
just gonna grab this thing over here.
Anyway, so eventually I was like, you know what?
Can you turn that light up?
Funny, so funny.
Yeah, it's a little funny.
So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go get this taken care of. I decided to go see an orthopedic doctor. We got an x-ray, and eventually I got an MRI scan. And they were basically able to fully assess what happened. And what happened was that when the ball of my shoulder got dislocated, it tore what's called the labrum, which is this strip of soft tissue on the outside of your shoulder. It acts as like a bumper, like bumper cars, right? Just to kind of keep the bone in its socket. That got torn when it escaped, but also on the way out, it chipped the socket bone on the not the ball, but the socket, the bottom part of the socket. There's a chip floating around inside my shoulder now, and also that got fractured there. So he was saying, basically, I got to do surgery on this shoulder. Minimally invasive. It's called orthoscopic surgery. They basically cut a little hole. They send this little arm inside and they do some stuff. And they're either going to remove the chip or if it's big enough, try to reattach it. He was talking about like drilling 2 holes into my shoulder bone, putting some sutures in there, tying off some knots, make it tight.
Give you an upgrade.
Yeah. And it was going to be like a 6 to 8 week recovery, arm in a sling 100% of the time. And so I got that news on Wednesday. And I came into the studio after that, and we were doing the workflow thing for the mustache cut, talking about that video. And then I went home after that because I was working I went home to finish working. I actually ended up being pretty productive the rest of the day. Next day, broke my collarbone.
Yeah.
And then you went back to the
Double
same
step.
doctor, right? And he's like, "What did you do?"
Yeah, more or less.
Again?
Did you went back to the same doctor?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh my God.
That must be kind of embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
How did you feel?
Because he
how did
specifically
he
told me.
disapprove? Like, was he like, I'm
did- yeah,
disappointed
how did
in
he
you?
take the
Did he
news?
get angry? Did he get sad? Like, you hurt my feelings? Like, how did he make you feel
More just like
you messed
shocked disbelief. Like, what are you doing? Like, he literally came into the room and was like, "What are you doing?" Like, we talked about this. Like, and I was like, "I also warned you. I am reckless."
Addicted to one-wheeling.
I didn't specifically say it that way. He's like, "I'm glad you're not one of the crazy ones," because he was telling me stories about all these other crazy people, and I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of a crazy one." And he was like, "Oh, don't tell me that," and I was like, "Okay." So basically, that morning before VFX Artists React, his office called me to arrange a surgery date, and they're like, "Does May 10th work for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "Sweet, we'll call you back with confirmation with insurance and on that day." And I'm not even kidding. Less than 1 minute after I crashed my one wheel, like you were there, Niko. I was right
Yeah.
next to you. They called me back and they're like, "All right, insurance is good to go. We're ready to do the surgery on this day." And I straight up was like, change of plans.
A little problem.
I got a little bit of a problem here. No, I was pretty clear. I was basically able to tell her, like, listen, I just broke my clavicle. I'm heading to the ER right now. I'll probably see you at some point in the next day. Yeah. And she's like, and she was very like apologetic. Like, oh no, I'm so sorry that happened. Okay. I guess I'll put a pause on this surgery that you're already scheduled to have.
That's funny.
It's really funny.
It's funny, but it's also just kind of like shamefully embarrassing. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
So now you need to wait for your collarbone to heal before you can have surgery on your labrum.
Exactly.
You should probably mention, just for the sake of the viewers and audience listeners, exactly how many pieces is your collarbone in?
Oh, how many pieces is it in? Gosh, man.
5?
I think it's in 5 pieces. So it is important to note, it only broke in one spot, but where that broke happened, it splintered out. Imagine trying to put a grenade in the middle of a tree.
Yeah.
It's a scene from Sherlock Holmes.
It's literally the scene from Sherlock Holmes 2 when they're running through the forest and you have all those crazy phantom shots. We reviewed it on VFX Arts React. It's super cool. That's what happened to my clavicle.
Is Ant-Man in your body right now, just popping grenades in your bones?
Yeah.
In spite of all this awful stuff to happen, I am very pleased to have a pretty gnarly x-ray. The x-ray looks cool, at least.
Does Ant-Man have a moral obligation to cure everybody's cancer by becoming a tiny man and
probably
killing their tumors?
Probably. I mean,
Killing their tumors.
who was his suit invented by? Did he invent it?
No, his
Hank
grandpappy.
His grandpappy invented it?
Yeah.
Or his girlfriend's grandpappy.
I don't know the canon there.
Anyway, yeah, I mean,
It
he
was
goes
his
in with a
mentor.
laser
I
and
don't think it
shoots
was-
it.
yeah.
Shoots cancer in the face. I don't know.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. And a big part of the disappointment now is that I'm unable to go to this one wheel race, which is happening in Las Vegas this weekend, May 1st, I believe. I was very excited to be there, not just to race. I was already like starting to get a little psyched out about racing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to actually take this easy. I'm gonna have to I'm a race, but I'll try not to push it very hard. I'm mostly excited about being able to go here. There's gonna be hundreds of one-wheel riders, a lot of whom I know personally from Race the Rail or various other one-wheel things, and it's gonna be a good time. And now I can't even make the trip.
Dreams, oh dreams.
That's the trade-off you make.
It is. I'm paying the consequences right now. It is what it is. And you know what? It's all good.
It's all good. There's other fun things to
It's a
do.
great story. There's
You can get into all your other hobbies.
Actually, I've given that a lot of thought. I think I'm gonna get way more into drone stuff now. I want it.
Yeah.
next week.
Huge shift.
Drone crash.
Huge shift.
No, I want to.
I'm doing a 180. I'm getting into drones. Sorry.
I want to build and fly this drone that's big enough to basically carry a Komodo or the Blackmagic cinema camera.
I thought there was some contact that we had where this guy had a drone that was big enough for you to get on.
Yes. So you may have seen this dude on TikTok or Instagram recently. His name is Hunter Kowald. He's been flying a giant one wheel. Wow, my brain. He's been flying a giant drone that he can stand on, like the frickin' Hobgoblin from Spider-Man, or the Green Goblin, rather.
Just throwing this out there. You got a drone. Are you gonna stand on it or are you gonna hang from it?
Stand on it.
Hang.
Stand on it.
Why
But then
not
you're
hang
over a
from-
bunch of lawnmower blades.
Why not hang from it? Like, why not like frickin' be underneath it and wear it like a backpack?
Oh, like hang out.
Arguably, I feel like all
horizontally.
these solutions put you very close to a bunch of spinning knives.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're plastic knives.
Well, here's the thing. When you land
Plastic. They're like ceramic knives. Yeah.
Yeah.
moving at like dozens of thousands of RPMs,
yeah.
hanging underneath, as far as stability goes, there's no difference hanging or standing on top of a drone.
Like attaching it to your head. Like it's a helmet mounted drone. You just put a chin strap on. and then it just goes.
That might be.
Talk to your clip shoes like this because you can't move your jaw.
You have such big neck muscles.
I've given thought to like some sort of like backpack design where it like literally unfolds out like wings, but they're just a bunch of like drone motors and flying around like that.
No, you need
But-
to have it like be a whole like body sized like what is it, like just like a slab or like that comes down and like you put your heels on it, you know? It's like what is it, like being in a standing torture device?
They put Lady Gaga on one of those and flew her across the stage at a fashion show.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like, did
It's
she
like a drone
against
dress.
her will? Like,
No, I mean they're trying to make it like, oh, it's a first drone that flies a person, but like it was a little lame because they didn't want to lift her up very high.
I mean,
so she's
reasonably.
just like hovering a few inches.
The biggest takeaway I took away from flying that jetpack a year ago, because I asked Richard, the guy who made the jetpack, I was like, how high can it go? And he was like, well, it can go to the stratosphere if I wanted to. But realistically, we never go any higher than we're willing to fall.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Probably a
like,
good rule.
in that situation, when you're flying Lady Gaga, it's like, don't lift her any higher than she's willing to fall.
Here we go. Nico's showing the clip.
Oh, I see. I remember seeing this clip.
Was this at the Super Bowl?
It's a giant.
Where was this?
It's a fashion show.
What
Oh, this is
Yeah, show
so
it to the camera
janky
real
looking.
quick. Show
So
that to the
that's kind of
camera.
what I was talking about, though.
Just like 2 feet
It's
off
this
the
giant,
ground.
like, white thing with ducted blade guards.
If people want to see that, what's it called?
It is called Lady Gaga introduces Volantis, the world's first flying drone. Just type Lady Gaga
drone.
drone dress.
She must have been terrified.
I don't know. She seems pretty adventurous.
So yeah, this dude Hunter Kowald, I hit him up about a month ago. It was before his video dropped where he's like flying through traffic and he went to like some influencer's house party and whatnot.
Did they all have robes on?
They might have. It was like
all
a
had
pool party.
burnout
But yeah,
robes.
he it's actually a really cool drone. I hit him up being like, maybe we can make some sort of video together. He seemed interested. I'm working on this Attack on Titan thing. For now, let's reconnect once I'm closer to being done with that, and then we can do it. Is that what's currently showing? That's not the same guy. That's a different guy.
Is that Colin Furs?
No.
I have a question in the interim. What is that ball for?
Oh, this is a stress ball.
Oh.
So one of the things about having your arm in a sling all day is that it kind of like messes with your muscles in your hand. So I like just sorry, hold up. I just activated the wrong muscle. Yeah, it's a stress ball. You just squeeze it to kind of get blood pumping through your muscles a little bit here. Yeah, one of the hardest things to get used to about having a broken clavicle is all of the ways you use two hands without ever realizing it.
Yeah.
And so I'm slowly getting used to using one hand, but it's still like I accidentally activate some muscle without meaning to. Like I'll just like adjust somehow or reflexively do it, and it just like it tugs on a bone. I was like, it's very painful. But only for like half a second.
So people
and then
sitting
it's over.
around you in the office like are working on the computer. Then every once in a while, Ren's just like,
I know. I'm trying not to just laugh right now. It's getting me. Hopefully one day I don't have an injury like that.
I'm at a point now where it's usually just manifesting as like a cross between a gasp and a hiccup. So I'll be like,
I think we should all give our impressions of what Ren sounds like when he lightly hurts himself.
it's very quick. It's very short.
Oh, man.
That's
pretty good.
That's what you did earlier, and like a second ago, and that's why I was doing this because I was like laughing.
Like,
You should let out a huge one tomorrow.
dude, every now and then it'll get bad because it's like I'll move just the right way and the bones will literally shift, and so my like relaxed state here is just incredibly uncomfortable. Like it feels like my skin is about to rip because it's like so tight. And then eventually I just have to keep adjusting until I get the bones kind of like not hurting anymore.
Every once in a while, they just go, yikes! When you move.
Yikes!
Yikes!
Oh, wait!
Sweet mama.
Damn, dude. Yeah, sorry. We're not making fun. We're
having
making
fun together.
I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah. No, I'm honestly like very happy that I've been able to be in at least as much of a positive mood as I've been in.
Might as well, you know, if you're going to have to deal with it some way or another,
I mean,
might as well
yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Got to
Yeah.
see the positive of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it sucks obviously, and it sucks for the next few months, but I don't know. I don't feel bad about it anymore. I felt very disappointed
Glad you have
in
a good sense of
myself
humor about it.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad
It's,
you told us the story too. I'm sure everybody's wondering, and now we have like a nice definitive whole story here on the podcast.
When I think about the actual action, I'm just like, it's just, dang, man.
It's worth mentioning the mustache cut is probably out at the time of listening to this. So if you have not seen it, people should probably go check it out.
Oh yeah.
And people get to look forward to the Attack on Titan video coming soon as well.
Yes. Okay, so that video got pushed a week, and oh my God, I'm happy for that. So because of that, we're able to actually do a little bit extra for the intro. We didn't have any intro before now, and all of these videos I've made always have some sort of interesting opening shot, and we ended up coming up with this idea that I'm very pleased with to open the video with. It's on.
Did you shoot that today?
Yeah, that was what we shot on the green screen today.
Did you do additional motion capture for the other stuff you had to do?
We haven't done any motion capture yet.
Okay. Are you still planning to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't do it anymore, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to like really coach Peter specifically what I have in mind, because I have it very precisely choreographed in my mind.
Peter's just been up there watching videos of you for the last 2 days, just trying to understand your movements.
Yep.
I'm excited for this video because I got COVID, and during that time, because I was locked away from the rest of my family, I could live a bachelor lifestyle.
That's right.
Including
I want to
binging
ask you about
all of Attack of Titan,
Oh, nice.
except for the final episode of.
I haven't watched the final episode yet either.
The first half of season 4.
Yeah, maybe we should have a
I
final
watched
episode party.
episode 15 this morning. So 16 will. I don't know when I'll see it, but point being, incredible show. I've been putting that off for years. I watched the first season. I started season 2, and I was just like, ugh. And then I had kids. I had no time. It was too violent to watch with Gideon. But oh my God, it is clear. It is such an incredible show. If you're listening to this podcast right now and haven't watched it, it is amazing. So go check it out.
How many episodes have we done now where we've endorsed watching Attack on Titan?
Not enough.
All right, Sam, is Attack on Titan better than Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Really?
I agree
So
with Sam.
far.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, they could totally like shit the bed. But
yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
true.
It
They
seems
got one more half
like
season.
no one's trying to hire the writers to make Star Wars, and they're all getting high and mighty. So,
Well, also don't forget the source material is done.
Yeah, it's true.
For Game of Thrones, that show was incredible up until they started having to write their own material.
yeah, and then that's a gamble they took. That's a gamble they took. But
And I have read all of the manga. I know what happens for the rest of the show, and I'm just gonna say I think it delivers.
good.
Ren
I cannot
basically has
wait.
the Founding Titans memories within him.
He has the Founding Titan memories. Wow.
I make one reference in this Attack on Titan video to any potential future Titans that might be seen in the second half of this season. I guess they're like, it's the final season. Oh, JK, we only did half of it.
I love how
the
it says
second half is going to come out next
final
year.
season, and then it's like to be continued. It's like wow. It's like maybe just Japanese shows like have like 30 episodes normally or something.
Commonly expected that the final season is to be
It's like
continued.
episode 16 hits, and they're like, no, that's only the first half of the season, and then we take a break for like 6 to 8 months. It's like, okay, what?
I mean,
what-
They did that for season 3.
They did that for Harry Potter.
I guess so.
That was a little different.
Well, either way, it's a cool show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's a non-spoiler reference. It's one of those kind of references that like if you've read the manga and you know what's coming, you're like, I get it. If you have no idea what's coming, you're not going to get it at all, and it's also not going to color your expectations at all. So I feel like I found like the good middle ground, because I'm
Yeah.
specifically trying
Like,
not to spoil
we're not
anyone
going to
in
put
this
any of the
video.
spoilers
I'm gonna
from
have
like
to not
season
read
4.
the comments for that one, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay
Probably
away
a good
from
idea.
the
Yeah,
comments.
I mean,
Probably a good
honestly, I
idea.
think it's a good idea that you didn't put in the Slime Titan or like the Jumping Titan. I think those
The
ones
Spider
are
Titan?
I think
Yeah.
the Spider
Oh,
Titan.
wait, sorry. We're just kidding. There's no Slime Titans or Spider Titans. You know, the Mohawk Titan never showed up.
No, he never did. I think it's season 4, the second half of season 4. We're getting Mohawk Titan finally, and then we're getting Goober Titan.
I know Mohawk Titan was in the
Goober
manga.
Titan? What's Goober Titan?
Dude, I'm literally writing the show right now.
Pulling a DB Weiss.
I will say you guys have absolutely no idea what's in store for you.
you better hold on to your shoelaces because
buckle up and strap in, boy, because this anime,
no idea.
this anime's about to slap you in the booty.
Sam, you just mentioned you had COVID and you lived a bachelor life. I'm actually really curious to hear like how that worked for you. So I imagine were very concerned and careful about not getting Sarah infected with the virus. So did you literally just spend like straight up 2 weeks like separated in the same house?
Not quite, but basically, so we got vaccines, and then it turns out that a couple of us had COVID. And so I was getting negative tests almost daily. Well, not daily. It was like 72 hours.
Yeah.
But basically, I was like, oh, this is bad. And then I'm like, get negative test, day 2, negative test, day 3, positive test. I'm like, God damn it.
Right.
And
it's
so
worth mentioning that like right now, LA County has like 1.5 people out of 100,000 that test positive with COVID every day. So we were those people.
yeah. So like I wake up, I get the positive test. I'm hanging out with the kids. I'm like, well, I got COVID and I'm just playing with the kids. And then so Sarah, like I'm letting her sleep in Sunday morning and she comes up around 9. I'm like, bad news. Got COVID positive right now. And she's like, really? I was like, yeah. She's like, well, you better go downstairs then. It's like, yeah, I guess I'm going downstairs.
See you later.
See you later. And so I go downstairs and I bring a bunch of stuff. I'm like, wait, hold on. Let me get a bunch of stuff. So I get everything I can. And then I go downstairs for the day. And I'm like, all right, well, I just sat around on an iPad watching Attack on Titan. And then the next day hits and I'm like, I feel fine. I'm going to go get another test just to make sure. So I go out, get a rapid test. The doctor comes back, he's like, yeah, you're still positive. I'm like, damn it. So I'm like, all right, well, the studio hasn't opened. So I drive all the way to the studio before everyone gets here Monday morning. And I'm like, I'm going to take one of these nice laptops. And I take that, I get some gear, so I can work remotely.
Yeah.
And then I basically just proceeded to spend basically that Monday through Friday just down in this bedroom in our house. I did come up to play with the kids outside a few times during the week. But the end of the week is like, I actually was kind of sick for like 2 days.
Yeah, I remember there was a time there when you were actually like, I don't feel well at all.
Yeah, I was fine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. I was like, And then Thursday and Friday, I was like, ooh, I feel like crap. Saturday morning rolls around. I like 100% normal. I'm like, I start doing push-ups and exercising in this bedroom like in a prison cell. I'm like
punching the wall like old boy.
And then basically on that Saturday, I was like, I feel great, and so I start hanging out with the kids. I keep my mask on for the next.
I was actually gonna ask about that too. So it's like, I assume you have to like go to the kitchen at some point to get food. So like
Sarah
the rest
brought
of the
me
house,
food
really, okay,
most of the time, and
Like-
I'd sneak up like an elf at 10 p.m. to do dishes and help out with some stuff while everyone was asleep.
Gotcha.
You know,
Well, I was
very
just curious if
similar
you'd like put on a
to my
mask if
house.
you left your basement dwelling.
yeah, I wore a mask around the kids, but you know, once I hit like day 7, I was like, I think I'm good. Like, I feel pretty good. So I, you know, once again, it was my risk to take, but I basically started hanging out with everyone almost all day on day 7, day 8, and then.
And by everyone, you mean your family.
And then day 9, I was like pretty lax
No,
with the
he went
mask.
to a nursing home and shook hands with everybody.
Day 9, I was lax with the mask, and then day 10, I was just like, what?
Well, day 10 is the day at the end of your.
Yeah, but you know, it was one of these things too.
Is
where
that like an expiration date on a carton of milk? It's like day 10.
Sarah
seriously.
was getting tests too,
That's
and
what they
like
say is day 10 you're good.
we were playing it kind of cautious, and obviously, you know.
Also, Sarah's 13 days into the vaccine.
Oh, yeah, she had also had a vaccine the same time I did, so it was kicking in by the time I was getting out of that. So
yeah,
I mean, the kids were the only thing to worry about, but kids,
They're kids.
basically statistically don't get severe COVID, even moderate COVID.
Yeah.
So I was
You just
just
don't want
like,
them to spread it though.
yeah, but it's like they're not seeing anyone else.
And no, we were doing that with I can't talk. Yeah, we made up our own rules based off of our information. So, and they worked. So
Right, yeah. No, totally. I think that's great. I was just like, man, so you must have just like hung out for a while, just
Day
kind of like
1,
on
I was
your
like,
own.
yeah,
Like, okay.
I can't wait to catch up on all these Quest 2 games. And day 2, I was like, the Quest 2 sucks. Everything on this is garbage.
What?
I'm like playing all these games and like, this is boring. I'm so bored.
95% of Quest 2 games
Sorry.
are like the same old boring target practice.
So then
like,
that's when I got Cyberpunk 2077 and I played that and I was like, this game is like a solid like 6 out of 10, and then Keanu Reeves has the best performance in his life in that game.
Really?
Like he acts in that game, and his voice acting is so much better than almost everything I've ever. John Wick is like a baby's first like script
Really?
acting lesson for Keanu Reeves, whereas 2077 it's like perfectly tailored to his personality. And I don't know, like his voice acting is like awesome and perfect, flawless. And unlike in John Wick or like the others movies, every once in a while you're like, I'm getting Keanu, like I'm not buying the character anymore. And like in Cyberpunk, it's like, no, it's like pure like character. It's Johnny Appleseed or whatever. Johnny
Appleseed.
Yeah. No, anyways.
Got the
So there you go.
tin pan
That's my
on his
COVID week. It was really boring other than that. I ate a lot of gummy bears.
Well, you've also just been like pumping out those freaking Unreal shots, just like left and right. I feel like you've been working on that nonstop.
I was doing that a lot. Monday through Wednesday that week, I was cranking on that, and then now I'm back, and it's almost done. Actually, I can say that.
I literally haven't seen anything about. I mean, other than what you post on Discord, like I never read the script. I don't know the concept that well.
You'll watch it and go like, "This is cool," and then when the jokes happen, you'll be like, huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Man,
it's about the best you can hope for, honestly, when people watch your stuff.
Yeah.
Niko, did you already talk about your COVID experience at home?
Not really. I mean, I'll skim through it lightly. But basically, it's the same as Sam's. You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
I found out I was positive, and see you later. Go into the room now.
Don't hang out with me anymore. Yeah.
I was more sick, so I came down with symptoms sooner than Sam did, like 2 days sooner. So
yeah, you tested positive like 2 days before I did.
I started coming down with symptoms Wednesday night, which I thought was from the vaccine that I got on Wednesday. Tested positive on Thursday, and I was sick through about
probably
Sunday.
was the vaccine though, because when I got my vaccine on Thursday, I felt like ass.
Well, I think the vaccine
That was way worse.
triggered the symptoms to come on before they might have, or come on more severely. But yeah, it took about 4 to 5 days before I stopped really feeling sick, and then it took about another 3 to 4 days before I stopped feeling really tired. I'm still like a little tired, but it's really not that bad.
But you can't say it's COVID anymore. That's the thing.
Not anymore.
Like you can feel tired, but you can't complain about it now.
We're still
a napper.
We still don't fully understand the long-lasting effects of COVID. Like people are actually saying that they are still suffering from lethargy months after they got COVID.
Like, look, my taste isn't the best, but it's not going to stop me from eating. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm not suffering any like really long-term effects or anything like that.
Yeah, I honestly, it was a piece of cake. Honestly,
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean,
it was. I had like a 10 out of 10 COVID experience, to be totally honest. I wasn't sick. I didn't feel bad. I didn't have a fever. I got to play video games and watch iPad videos.
Yeah, I mean, like my body got.
I got food served to me. Like, I'm sorry. It's all because we got that vaccine that week, and so it just probably turbocharged everything.
I still just can't believe what happened. Like,
It's too bad that we got it. I was hoping we'd make it through that game.
Like, literally, like you literally was it you who shared the Onion article that said that was like literally titled "CDC unveils new information"? That it's actually pretty embarrassing if you get COVID at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one.
And then the other one was like the runner at the finish line. The two people running to the finish line. It's like
and Griffin's posting that like, "Ha, this is you, Niko," and then Griffin gets test positive.
yeah, I know. It's just the face planting at the finish line, man. For real.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
we all got the vaccine.
well, that is
like on that day, then we all tested positive the next day. We almost made it. We almost made it.
It's so dumb.
God dang it.
well, I think we've been pretty good about like wearing masks around each other. There was a period of time last year, like last summer, where honestly we weren't really that good about it, and we were being called out about it on the comments. And then once the fall hit, most
of the numbers were really low in LA at the time.
They were. But as the numbers started rising and whatnot, we were like, you know what? We got to do our thing. We got to set a good example. And so we did. In all of the videos from the fall onwards, every time we're around each other, we have masks on. That lasted all through the winter, all through January, February, March. Like, we were pretty good about it. And it was getting to a point where it was like, all right,
numbers are
like
dropping.
the numbers are dropping. I'm getting weekly reports from Jenna working at her hospital about how the numbers are dropping there. At one point in January, every floor in her hospital was entirely COVID based. And then like now only half the hospital is COVID. Now only a quarter. Now it's only one floor. Now that one floor is dispersed. Yeah, it's the thing. And like,
and it's like we're all being good in the office too about like staying within our pod.
Yeah, and like, and that's what happens. We kind of let our guard down. It was just like, it was literally celebrating before crossing the finish line. It was literally those.
Yeah.
We're literally in that compilation video of people celebrating before like the ball goes in the basket
line, and then it
like,
misses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they start cheering, they start slowing down, and someone passes them at a race.
Somebody I was talking to was saying that when people are under like a long-term endurance thing, the moment of like weakness, it's not in the middle. It's like it's at the very end. Like when people are on a submarine, it's the last week before they get off that they get crazy. It's not like in the middle or anything like that. When they're like, oh, I have another half year left. No, it's like it's that last week before you're done.
Yeah.
That you slip up and go cuckoo.
Yeah, that makes
sense. It was literally just that one day where we're like, you know what?
I love
we're getting the vaccine
hard
this
you
week.
guys are on yourselves about this.
Jake,
it's funny.
I mean,
it's
we
hilarious.
put a lot of effort into this.
It's hilarious. We put a lot of effort into the last.
It was
but here's the
literally-
thing. Now that we have vaccines, we can do anything we want. It's all the normal bullshit of life that affects us now.
Yeah. How do you guys? Okay, tell me real quick. This will be our. We'll wrap up the podcast.
I've got to head out. I got to bounce here.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So once we all came back from having COVID, it was also the 2-week period from getting our vaccines, and so we were done. Right?
You're
We're
done.
not, like we can't get COVID anymore. Realistically, to the point like there's nothing else we can do to protect ourselves. Like we're back to normalcy. So the masks no longer needed to be a thing.
They
Here
all
at
like
Corridor.
freaking Thanos.
Yeah.
Someone, Nico came in. He was like, snap, and everyone's mask disintegrated and faded away. And we were like looking around like, whoa.
So how does it feel to not have to wear a mask?
Feels
every
great.
day?
The CDC told me today that I can exercise outside without a mask now that I have a vaccine.
I'm so glad they told us that.
That
I
was the
wasn't doing
announcement.
it before until they
No,
told
I
me.
honestly, because I jogged through the vaccination site at Cal State, and so I wore a mask when I jogged through, because there's literally hundreds of people lining up to get vaccines. I'm like, this is gonna look kind of bad if I just running around without a mask. So I wore it when I go through the line, the loop. But but now.
Well, it's like, I mean, like, I've been fully vaccinated for a little while at this point, and I always still wear a mask out in public just because it's like,
It's a way of like signaling people that you take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like
I believe in
I'm
masks.
someone who would
I
have
believe
gotten a
they're
vaccine.
important.
I'm
Yeah,
wearing
but
a
the thing
mask.
is that stigma of someone who takes it seriously is really muddy now, because it's like, wait a second, are you taking this seriously, or did you take this extra seriously by getting a vaccine? Because like that's a way more serious.
Are you early vaccinated or are you
There's
anti-masker?
layers, there's
It's
layers
like,
now of
are you
holier
so
than thou.
responsible that you have a
Holy crap.
vaccine, or are you an anti-masker?
good to
Wow.
know.
And I'll be honest, it's gonna shift. Don't worry. And I'm going to help that shift. People will be like, "Oh, you're not wearing a mask." It's like, no, it's fine.
Oh my god.
I
got this covered. I got COVID.
I already screwed it
No,
up.
I got it a few weeks ago.
Don't you show them the positive? I'm positive. Well, I was positive.
I was positive.
So I got it.
Yes. Look, it's positive. No, the middle of the date. Can you read?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, guys, I gotta bounce. I gotta eject right now.
All right, Sam.
My household is about to
Sam's ejecting out of this
explode
podcast.
into
All right, get
children
out of here and we'll take care of
screaming.
outros.
So hey, I just want to say to all the listeners, do your part, help end this pandemic, and get your vaccines.
Yeah.
So that we don't spread it around anymore, and we can all stop wearing our masks. The
You,
reason,
listen, this is the libertarian in me. I just got to say this. You can get the vaccine if you want. You can not get it if you don't want. That's everyone's
vaccine.
choice. It's
should get the
everyone's.
vaccine.
Just let's recognize.
it's everyone's choice, but there's a moral choice here, and that's going and getting the vaccine.
Let's just recognize that's a choice that each individual has the right to make. Just
Sure.
like they have the choice of what they want to be, who they
They
want
have the choice of whether or not they want to
wanna
speed
date.
on the highways, the choice of whether or not they want to use the turn signals.
No,
you
that's
have a choice.
I'm not. Because that's not apples to apples. You're comparing not getting it to committing a crime. That's not the same thing.
You have the choice to hold the door for an old lady with
I
a
mean-
hands full of bags or not. I mean, you don't have to, but
Right.
We're getting to a point where the availability of the vaccine is enough for everyone can go get the vaccine if they want it. And so at a certain point, it kind of becomes, well, if you get COVID and you didn't have the vaccine, well, that's on you, right?
Right. Yeah. 100%.
But at the same time, I think everyone should absolutely get the vaccine.
yeah,
I don't
Period.
I agree with
disagree.
Wren.
I just don't think it's right to like morally judge people for not getting it.
I disagree.
I'm going to
actually.
morally judge anyone
That's
who
fine.
chooses to
You
not
guys
get a
can
vaccine.
more. I'm not saying
stating
we
that
all
right
need
now.
to agree to this. I'm just saying, like, personally, I don't think it's right to make a moral judgment on somebody for not getting it.
I actually disagree with that too. But
What?
I will say that if you want to do your part to help end the spread of COVID and help end the pandemic, you can leave it up to other people, or you can go get a vaccine and help do your part. So, just like everybody did their part to end polio, everybody's done their part to end smallpox. There's not somebody sitting around going, everybody else can get it, I'm not going to worry about it. They can deal with the herd immunity, I'll just coast. No, do your part. Go out there and do your part. Be a good person and help everybody else out, and let's put an end to the pandemic. Go get your vaccine. That's what I would say.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, let's play us out.
Your turn, Jake. I played us in.
All right, Nico played us in. I'm going to play us out.
It's going to be weird to hear you playing in person.
Oh, man. Are you ready?
You got a pick stuck in your string still.
Oh, it's there for me.
All right.
All right, Wren, this song's for you.
Okay.
That's how it starts.
Sorry.
Wren broke his shoulder in about 5 places and he got a vaccine. Wren rode his one wheel to the races and he fell off like a machine, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for listening.
And 3, 2, 1.